welcome to From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general, and food and bev? Question mark? Yeah. It's really nice to be here with you. I'm here with Tom Worley of Lone Wolf and Seawolf of Tybee Island. How we doing, dude?
I'm so great. My allergies are killing me.
I can tell.
My voice sounds like I've been partying all night,
That's
which
weird.
I was.
That's a weird thing. Who'd have thunk it?
The sparkling water, though, is fixing
It's
the
pretty
problem.
nice. Brought to you by our sponsor, Firemaker Beer. More on them later. I met you at the Bayou Cafe. I'm pretty sure that's the first time we met. You were bartending, and I was playing a gig with my buddy Ben and John Willis, also a drummer. Was that your first bartending gig?
Yeah, it was my first bartending gig.
So for our out-of-town listeners, Bayou Cafe, institution downtown pretty much, right?
Yeah, for a long time, like, excuse me.
Drink the elixir.
Yeah, it's going to fix it. Since like early 90s.
Yeah.
Institution, live music hub, party bar.
Yeah.
You
When did you start
and
there?
fried seafood.
Yeah, of course.
2007 or 8, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so about 10 years there at the total.
Yeah. And, being your first bartending gig, that's kind of thrown into the fire in terms of like downtown Savannah, dive bar,
Yeah.
Rowdy customers,
I learned a lot.
like pretty quick
Like what not to do, what to do,
in terms of like interactions with customers.
life, everything.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun though. They had a lot of people from Ohio that came there during the summer, and those are great people, but they like to party because you've been to Ohio, right?
All right, dude. Ohioans
Yes.
love Tybee Island as well, because anyone who I don't personally know or don't recognize,
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys from out of town? Yeah. And I'll go, Ohio? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, there's a weird like pipeline.
It's not an exaggeration.
And that's how you learn these things. This is like what I learned at the Bayou is like these things, like you can spot it now. Like it teaches you about people. And I think that's the whole thing of bartending, just like seeing how people act and then how they end up acting sort of after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
drinks.
there's two schools of thought where it's like profiling. If I weren't so goddamn good at it and like 90% correct about my profiling,
Yeah.
I would stop profiling.
Profiling confidence is what it is. Yeah. It's okay to have that, but it's like you have a bazooka sometimes in the Army, but you don't have to use that on everybody or whatever the analogy is.
But my first 5 years, so green, I had no profiling prowess. So I was just like, hey dude with half his shirt ripped up, you want a shot? And then you pay.
Yeah.
But then there's the people, the before and after people where it's like, hey, this guy walks in. Hello, sir. How are you? Everything's prim and proper. 2.5 beers later, I don't know if the Xanax kicked in and then complete turnaround of a person. At the Bayou, was it like, what was your percentage of like regulars to, bystanders?
Probably 50-50. It was
Yeah.
a really popular place. When we first started, there was basically kicking people out at 3 a.m. on River Street, like every bar. That was still like the center for let's go to River Street. And it was actually cool, like in the fun way. But then when all that kind of left after the housing crash, that whole era, all the like businesses stopped sending all their people down there on vacation, business meeting, and with the credit cards, like just going crazy all night. You still had like mostly regular clientele. They either worked down there or like you just knew already, So that was kind of cool to have like the community that got built and changed over time as you met different people or as other musicians show in town, like you got like meeting you.
Yep.
So yeah, it was about half and half. So you still had that bit of like, let's see what happens Friday night, here they come,
Right.
And something like Lone Wolf, the bar I own and work at now, like it's mostly locals, like 80%.
Really?
But you still get that. We're in a neighborhood, but you
Yeah,
still get
you're
that.
kind of off the beaten path a little bit, yeah.
I think it's downtown Savannah. It's starting to turn like into a giant Disneyland or hotel. Like just somebody that owns hotels is like, well, I don't have a place in Savannah yet, so let's tell the city council to get this approved.
Yeah.
And where Lone Wolf said, it's just mostly people that live around the corner. Some people that actually like, I don't want a bar here now are like there every day.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
The legit neighborhood bar, which
Yeah.
is something essential, especially for that part of town.
Yeah.
Because instead of having a destination place where it's like, if I want to go out and party or have a good time, whatever, we got a make a big to do about going downtown.
Yeah.
But the hotel part you were talking about Savannah, the Tybee has that affliction as well, where there are still some pockets of hometownedness, but the Disneyland aspect of it, it's like people see dollar signs and they're like, hey, if we just make more places for non-locals to be able to stay, that'll drive more economy. It's like, not really, because we're Savannah and Tybee are unique in the way of, it's unique because of the characters and because of who we have in the community that supports these bars or that goes out to these bars. And all of a sudden, people who don't have the connection to the, community aspect of it, those aren't the best customers. I mean, hey, we're happy to have them, but that's not what makes your place great.
Yeah. Also, the cities of Tybee and Savannah, they love tax revenue.
Right, yeah.
So every extra little bit of way to another couple hotels, another this or that, it's massive amounts of money. Okay. So great. We have a bunch of that. Hey, we need to vote Splosston this time. Not to we're not going to get into all this, but this also influenced our decision of where we open our bar at and how we navigate the waters. And also, I don't know, man, we're trying to get open container on our side of town because it's more of just rubber stamping what people already do because they live there. You walk out of your house with a beer, technically illegal, but
I didn't know it wasn't.
Stops at Forsyth.
So people not familiar with Savannah and Tybee, for the most part, it's open container in. You can leave a bar with alcohol in a plastic cup. But so past Forsyth, that doesn't count for you guys over there.
But I guess it used to be historically in Savannah, everything was open container.
Yeah.
And then they were like, let's just bring this into this zone, And there's people have a lot of opinions on why that happened, but who?
It happened.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Can I say that on this?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I'll keep it clean. And
no, don't. Fuck that.
My mom will watch this.
Please don't.
But we're working on things like that. But it's maybe we don't want that, because it's people who live here also. You don't want people without the city putting trash cans in. So it's you open a bar and then you got all these other problems now. But I will say this: opening a place and having the same people that come see everybody over, hey, so and so, I see you. Same guys at 4 p.m. every day. That makes the neighborhood a lot safer. So, 10 years ago, if you said you're going to open a bar on this side of town, I don't know about that. Because that's where we used to go to house shows and people live cheap and things are still kind of rough. People getting hurt.
And blocks a block, there's a sea change of vibe.
Yeah.
It's one block, you're might get shot. Next block, cool bar.
But that's what I mean. Now it's more evened out. So and part of that is that there's people looking at things happening. People are up at 3 and they may be drinking and hanging out at Mood Rights or wherever, But now you're there's people that are actually
there's always people
around.
out and not necessarily being vigilant, but their presence.
Yeah.
It's just like having a dog in your yard. You're not going to have a raccoon,
That, but also I think as downtown has turned into more of a hotel-oriented place, there's less people that kind of know each other. Because back in the day, when the Bayou was open and Warehouse, my girlfriend, I met her at Warehouse. You know what I mean? We all knew each other down there, and same story for her. You would see them, hey, how y'all doing down there? Everything's good. You know everybody at Bernie's. You know what I mean? We knew everybody.
Yeah.
So there would never be, hey, this dude's running down the street, acting stupid, pulling him in. Cool. But now that there's just a bunch of hotels, they're cool, yeah, you can come in our hotel. Whatever. Or wherever all these. So there's still people holding out. Wes has got his spot, and freaking. Jane and Matt, Savoy, and Pinky's, and those places are still hanging out. Rail Pub, still rocking on, love it.
Yeah.
But, people aren't calling the hotel to be hey, there's a guy coming y'all's way.
Right, yeah. It's not the same.
Not here to help the Marriott.
Yeah, right. Well, let's talk about it.
Sure.
So coming from the Bayou and talking to you, I knew you guys were opening the Lone Wolf. Which give us the address for Lone Wolf.
2429 Lincoln Street.
2429 Lincoln Street.
Corner of 41st and Lincoln.
Savannah, Georgia.
Thanks.
And so I see you at the Railroad History Museum, or what was that? And you guys did a pop-up, you and Andy. Mm-hmm. You did a pop-up with 2 specialty drinks. And then subsequently after that, you opened Lone Wolf. So what was the transition of Jack and Cokes, shots of tequila at the Bayou to 5-ingredient craft tales?
Yeah.
Was it a creative thing?
I will say this: there's an overarching reason that this happened. This industry exists now in Savannah, having these kind of cocktails. You get the best drinks in Savannah now that you would have ever gotten ever in any place you go. Think about it. But when I first started at Bayou, it was Jaeger was still popular. That's how old I am now. You know what I mean? Like, and I love Jaeger. Like, I'll drink the shit out of it all the time. And I just did this week also. So, but Jaeger, and then Fireball dethroned it. And you see this, like, this is basically who's got money to throw something against it. Because Jaeger came out and they're just like, Jaeger, Girl Calendar. They have one that's hanging in the bag. It was like 1993 Hawaiian Tropic style, but it's Jaeger. Like, why do you need this shit? You know?
Yeah.
So all that happened. I met Andrew Ripley, my business partner, and really, really great friend before all this happened. Like, we've known each other a long time, and like, you know, we have a lot of similar tastes and things. We're both musicians. He went to Juilliard for the oboe. I just played the drums. You know what I mean? But like, it all works out. We play in a country band together now. You know, whatever. Right. We play music. So
the oboe.
Right.
Gotcha.
He was working at the Spare Time, if you remember that place.
Yeah.
It was open on the corner of MLK and Congress, which is like where I met him at, and a lot of people I know today, a lot of colleagues like in the same industry, and that was like the happiest place on earth for me. I love that place because they had really beautiful cocktails. They had really crazy spirits that you'd never seen before. And even then, like by this now, I've had so many different things. But like back then, it's like, yeah, let me just try all these tequilas and just talk to me about them, and then absorb that, you know. And Andy was working on Mondays there, and they were doing open, or it was like vinyl night where you could bring your own records and spin them or do your own thing, like an hour DJ set, you know, vinyl appreciation basically. And he was like, he didn't have a bar back because there's like Mondays, so he's like, you want to come over here and like just, I'll teach you how to do this shit, and like you help me out, we'll also just hang out and like party. I was like, yes,
I will.
So I would just go there, and like he would tip me out. I was like, we just go spin it at Pinky's right after that, you know. But it's more of like, I kind of picked it up there, you know, and I started realizing there's like more to it, because just like cooking, like, yeah, you can make a really fancy dish, but also, you know, you can make a grilled cheese, like, so.
Yeah, but can you make a fancy dish when there's 40 of them waiting to be made?
So Andy's also is one of the best things about his idea is like, or the way he approaches his cocktails is very like balanced and very much like there might be 4 or 5 touches on something, but that's it, you know. So,
but not complicated for the sake of being complicated.
No, it's just what the drink is, you know.
Yeah.
It's a drink that you can be like, this is $9 and it tastes great. Also, our cocktails are like half the price of everything downtown.
Well, and I had no idea what cassis was until I drank one of y'all's cocktails. You know, so that was a learning experience for me.
That's what I mean. So and there's like food and beverage in general. Finally, is at a point where the pretension's kind of getting sucked away out of it. You know, like a place like Seawolf or like a restaurant on Tybee, like we do hot dogs and oysters and champagne. And it's just sort of like evolved into that. It's like it started as one idea, and it was like a gay, funky UFO crash landed into it. And it's just like, here we are, we're here, you know.
Right.
And that wasn't like our initial plan, you know, in a good way. It was just like colors and rainbows and like Caroline just decorating everything.
Well, you got to make a mark, especially with stylistically, because if you're coming into a market where everything, you know, it's either everything's a dive or a seafood restaurant, you got to stand out in some sort of way.
And our initial idea, not to get off track, but it was just to make it like cold sea ships, like North, like Port City, you know, instead of it being like tiki skirt, grass, fried shrimp, which is great, you know.
Yeah, but
I feel like from my background, like making fast as shit drinks.
Yeah.
You figure out how to do this. And Andy's fast as shit too. So like we've just like started on either side of the map, and then like we've cross-trained each other in a way, in various ways. But yeah, I mean, they'll crank them out. It's like Huckapoo's where you work at. Like you don't get a job walking into Huckapoo's like, hey, can I bartend here? It's like,
no.
Like
it's not necessarily starting at the dishwasher, but that's essentially what it is. And it's not, there's not a particular skill. So look, anybody can read a recipe and put something together. Right. The inherent skill that you need is, number one, balancing customer expectations and efficiency, making whatever drinks you're fucking making.
Yeah, so I think ultimately,
whether it's Jack and Cokes or not.
I think we ended up on doing those. Like we still have a $2 beer. We have beer and shots. Like everything's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a bar. It's technically a neighborhood bar. We just also offer these great cocktails because the theme for Lone Wolf is Caribbean, sort of like on the map. Because Savannah was historically on the northernmost Caribbean port. Like you would leave islands and go to Charleston and Savannah, like or whatever, you know, and then head back down South Florida and then back to the Caribbean, bring in stuff like rum, bringing things from like Mexico or whatever. So Lone Wolf's like initial concept was not tiki bar, and people think that that's like Polynesian, other side, Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So we're like rum focused and mezcal and tequila even. Like we have like 30 bottles.
Yeah,
of
there's
mezcal.
a bunch of tequilas over there.
Yeah. And that's like the most popular thing to drink now. So we've finally gotten to where like if people were just drinking hard, they're like drinking tequila now again, in a good way, not Jose Cuervo. But we can offer the same things for the same price. That's what I mean. Like
But coming in, you knew that there had to be a balance of, if you only had the craft tails, you're going to cut out a huge portion of your regular business.
Yeah.
So you have the craft cocktails to help people expand their minds.
Right.
But you got to have the $2 PBRs in the pot.
Yeah. We're just trying to hang out and have a good time. Like, you can get a great drink. You can also hang out and just.
Or you could just drink a beer.
Yeah, and have a Jaeger. Like, who cares?
And that's great,
my
though.
only
because,
contribution to the menu was the Jaeger flight. So that's not my when we made it. I like, this is the one drink I want to put on it because like Andy already had like a little bit of some things saved up, ready to go, you know.
Yeah.
But the Jaeger flight is just 4 shots of Jaeger, and people are like, they'll read it. You hear them read it, Jaeger. I'm like, yeah, they get better. Like they change as they get warmer. By the time you get to the last one.
That sounds like something that Poos would come up with.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So Hugapoos, again, like when we were like working on Lone Wolf, like we would be on Tybee occasionally, just like bullshitting, me and him sitting at Hugapoos, like we've always done, you know. We live 15 minutes from the beach, you know, or 20, you know. I mean, that was where it came from. We were just like, let's do it. Like, and yeah, drink Jaeger, drink 4 of them. Or it's technically, this is for you 4 and all of drink one. It's $12.
You see, as it sits there, it blooms, and it takes all the 52 herbs. You start noticing the 51st, and then the 50th, and then the 49th, and then the 49th.
We're down to motor oil now. So the base.
But now it tastes like Fernet. Ugh.
Yeah, but even something like that. So like when Spare Time was open, that's my first introduction to Fernet. So I think a few places in Savannah started like we're just going to lean into craft cocktails and like really get like Alley Cat opened up, beautiful large
with a
menu.
Newspaper. And Scott's a great dude. I mean,
Absolutely,
I love Scott so
He's the
much.
Man.
Yeah.
They really just like broke the mold in terms of like here we're going to offer all this, you know. But now there's enough people in the city that can do all this,
right?
That and you can go anywhere and get a beautiful drink. So these are just part of like the experience. Like, so what? Not everybody wants to drink a crazy cocktail, but like these products are here at the same price as Captain Morgan and Fireball.
Right.
So like, why are we not putting this shit in front of people? Just like great new beers. Like you're trying something new all the time. They've got new stuff going on, you know.
Well, like not talking shit, but I think one of the inherent problems for me with the Alley Cat thing was just the depth of the menu.
It was not.
It was a lot.
It definitely was packed all the time. It is always packed. But I'm saying like in the beginning, it was like just slammed, and it was like insane, you know, because people were so ready to try new stuff. Spare Time was like gone, you know, like it was like a.
Do you think they were the tipping point for that sort of thing for people to come out and expect craft cocktails?
I don't think so. I think so. Savannah's like 15 years behind everybody anyway. You know, so like New York and West Coast, they were already doing this, and this was like back in the day of like the bartender, you know, this guy.
Oh yeah,
leather apron on, mixology, and it's like that was what I meant when I said the pretension is kind of being bled out of it. So 2 points on that, like you don't have to wear the apron, just make the fucking drink. Like, look at it, like I wear a hat, I wear the same outfit every day.
I don't need your bow tie to make my drink good.
But if you wear it, beautiful, because that's fine. You know, very like the Hawthorne that just opened up. The bartenders wear suit jackets. It's a really beautiful, classy bar. It's on MLK. Yeah. Used to be the Guitar Bar, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, I remember Guitar Bar.
So they have this really beautiful craft cocktail bar in there. It's probably like, you know, 30 seats or whatever. It's awesome. So there's that. And then on top of that, there's, the pretension. Basically, we were on Guy Fieri's Diners, Dungeons and
Triple
Dragons.
D.
Yeah.
Triple D.
And he came to Seawolf, you know.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
So that was a cool experience. That was last year about this time. And, you know, kind of blew us away because Caroline was always into it, like the imagery, like Guy Fieri. Cause it's,
Caroline
Sansone. She's, we worked at the Bayou together. Like, she was there before I started, like a year ahead of me. Like, my best friend, like, my sister, I love that girl.
But just rock star front of house.
Klimt here, you know.
Rock star front of house person.
She's the best, you know. So her and Andy
you need those types of people.
So my business partner and one of my best friends are a couple. So it's like, and we all work together on this shit. So it's sort of like same people, like still riding on this shit.
Well, so that familiarity.
Yeah.
It probably works out really well.
Andy quipped. He said he's like, I have 2 of the same people on either side of me because we're just both outrageous people sometimes. Yeah. So, you know.
But we at every business, it's sort of if you're lucky, you already have that person there, or it would behoove you to find that person really quick. Yeah. But that rock star front of house person, who doesn't get stressed, caught up in the weeds, it makes it so much of a difference, especially for ownership and the other employees, because they set the mood for
100%.
They said if they're stressing, that's going to pass down.
I think that's some of the like the cons of doing what we're doing now. I don't bartend as much, which is good in some way because I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not up at 5 a.m. today, you know.
Sure.
But okay, I would like to still bartend. I didn't just try to like step out of this. But going to Tybee, there's like 2 things going on.
I own now.
Yeah.
You will bartend for me.
No,
I'm
that's
no
terrible.
longer one of you proletariats.
No. I mean, I love bartending.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do. But somebody Guy Fieri comes out and you're like, that's cool. It's this guy's at our place. So like they're taking it seriously, but it's not like James Beard, And there's like 2 ways. You got the James Beard way and you got the Guy Fieri way.
I was about to say, man, I can't think of a better antithesis.
Yeah, it's like yin yang or whatever. But, and I don't mean like that. Doesn't mean $1 million just fell out of the sky or something. But it's more of like, thanks for noticing that we're working our ass off on this. And that guy's so nice. I guess he's like running most of Food Network stuff now. Like he's kind of in charge.
Yeah.
And we're away from that whole like Gordon Ramsay. Like I'm gonna can yell at you all day long.
Yeah.
And, like look at my fucking udon noodles.
Look for his wackiness and his campiness, his contribution and his boon to small businesses everywhere he visits. It's like expect a 275% increase.
But he also has the same crew working with him. So check this out. Like his team has been with him since like it started. Same producer, same like location man, all these people.
Same hairstylist.
Same. But they actually came to Lone Wolf and partied with us. Like it was their birthday for like their main dude or one of the guys who've been with them. So they're like, yeah, we're just like bullshitting with those guys all night. And I got to see like this guy. They really respect him a lot. Like they respect Guy,
Yeah.
And obviously this guy's worked his butt off to do this. And you're right. It's like they care about your restaurant when they show up. They're like, let's just make y'all look really beautiful.
Yeah.
We're just here.
And they
so
wouldn't.
it's really a humbling experience.
They wouldn't go. They wouldn't show up to a place and be like, "Well, it sucks, but we're still going to pretend."
No, I think they do some really good
do
research.
A whole lot of research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to like.
How far out did you know that they were coming?
They kind of like hit us up.
Because I was wondering if they
A few months.
Okay, I was going to say, I wonder if they like surprise you to be like, I got you.
It's very coordinated. There's
Yeah.
so many moving parts. It's a show that they're filming like 4 different episodes, or they're filming like all these locations in Savannah. So like Big Bond was on it as well.
Yeah.
Not on our specific episode, but they filmed
Yeah.
Big Bond at the same time. Sisters of the South, which shares the same episode with us.
Okay.
Really great soul food. Like walk in cafeteria style.
Oh no,
It's
I love Sisters. We talk about
It's
them
really
sisters.
good.
We talk about them sisters on this podcast a lot.
So they're really great. And
how lucky I don't live in that neighborhood. I'd be fat.
So they were on it. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice to have him though. And so like people weren't yelling at you and like judging you. It's like be creative, try it. Like in these days and age, like being able to like we employ like 35 people now. That's another thing.
That's
All right.
great.
Right. It's insane.
Wow.
It's a lot on my plate where I think like these decisions are not just for me. I'm like I'm trying to like think for 35 people also. Like got to get these people paid. Like got to pay rent. The city is like getting more and more expensive by the day. But we're able to like just like we're doing at Starland. We bought that property. Thank God. Like and
So you bought the Lone Wolf property and then some of the buildings next to it?
We're
Right on.
working a courtyard out. There's a new bakery opening up. Our friends Natasha and Matt, they're opening at 6B. It's going to be like really high end, beautiful, approachable, and great baked items and like a cafe type situation with beer and wine. So we're about to just like get this on.
I think approachable describes what you also do very well, because one of the things that keeps people from going into the bow tie craft cocktail places, oh, I don't want to seem like a Momo if I don't know
I like
what
you use
Saint-
that word. That's
yeah,
a good one. Yeah.
What Saint Germain is. You know, you don't want to feel like a jerk off going in like, let me get the Sat German, and they're like, you don't know what elderberry flowers are, you son of a bitch.
I don't even know what everything is. Even Andy doesn't know. Like how you figure it out.
But that's the fear of people.
You drink it. You just drink it.
Yeah.
And then done.
That's the fear of people. And the other thing that I hate is if you do go into a place and you're like, hey, I'd like this or that. And they're like, just drink a beer, you pussy.
Also, it's like people that order, they go to the out of town and they go somewhere to drink the same beer. They drink, I'll have a Miller Lite. Great. And that's fine. Okay.
Whatever.
But also like people that order like, I don't know. I just, it's like, well, just one fucking beer, dude. Like just drink the beer. And if you don't want it, have the Saint Germain, like try it and be like, well, that's not something I should be drinking a lot of, like, cause it's, flour or whatever.
Right.
But it's like 15 seconds of your life and you just don't drink any of it. You like Malort? You ever had that stuff?
Oh, I hate it.
Okay. But I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we have a Malort Negroni on the menu right now, named after it's in honor of Wesley Willis. Are you familiar with Wesley Willis?
My last name's Willis, sir.
Hey, well, Wesley Willis, from Chicago, the schizophrenic guy or whatever.
Amazing music. Have you
My
ever heard of
favorite-
Wesley Willis?
No.
Oh, man. Casio
Surprising.
keyboard, drum machine. Woo!
A legend in Chicago.
Yeah.
but it's a Negroni cocktail, and it's called Rock Over London. And then in the
Rock Over London, Rock on Chicago.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions. Yeah, that guy.
Rock and roll McDonald's. Let's go.
But that's kind of like we're just being a little tongue in cheek because whatever, drink the cocktail and people, oh, this is really great. Yeah, because Malort's got like 2 flavors. There's like grapefruit and battery acid. So as Andy said, we really leaned into the grapefruit on that one. You know, but it's like 3 ingredients, so not a big deal. We make 800 of those in 2 seconds.
Really? Yeah.
You know, like whatever. But it's like fast and good.
Right, yeah. Well, and it's good to take the pretension out of certain things like that. And also, there's just something to be said for, like you talked about, someone going out of town drinking the same beer that they do. Yeah. I'll respect a person that's like, this is what I drink and this is what I want.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm not hating on that person.
No, but here's what I don't fucking respect. You say, I'm not sure what I want. And you suggest 2 or 3 things. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that.
Oh, a tequila soda. Like, all right.
Well, then, is that what you drink? Then ask for it, dude.
Yeah. Well, when we were in Colorado to see Humphreys at Red Rocks, I just got a Bud Light naturally, and the bartender, bless his heart, was just like, "You don't want a Bud Light?" And like, no, I just don't want a Bud Light. I forget we're in Colorado. We're in Coors Country.
Oh, yeah.
So every cooler was just loaded up with banquet beers, bullets, and all that in one slender row of Budweiser products.
We passed through Golden, Colorado to get to Denver or to Red Rocks or whatever. Oh, here's the best thing. Winky, we're out there. So we go to the hotel bar or whatever, and I get some fucking craft beer, whatever. Yeah. Just because. And then Winky was like, I'll take a Coors Light. And we get our bills, and my craft beer was cheaper than his Coors Light. Winky's hat flew off the top of his head.
It does.
His seat melted. He goes, how the fuck is a Coors Light more expensive in Colorado?
They're like, quit drinking it.
Yeah, right.
Try something else.
So what's the difference between, all right, so as a, just as a platonic bartender, you meet new customers, new people come in, you're trying to feel them out, understand them, get their vibes so that you can interact with them as best as possible. How does that concept of how you approach interacting with new people change when it's bartender versus restaurant bar owner? Are the kid gloves on a little bit more?
No.
Because you don't want to like a new person like that, well, I'm never coming back.
That's okay.
Then don't.
There's like so many things out there to go do.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't want to do what we're doing. So same with Seawolf. It's like, yeah, sorry, the hot dog's $18. If you notice the economy, like we price that out like on the formula of like how you price things out. But they're fancy and they're crazy and they're Wagyu beef and it literally is like a quality product. So like it is what it is. It's like you can't even eat a whole one really if you eat it.
And no one else on Tabby does anything remotely like it.
Also, hamburger on Tabby is like $19 with fries. So like, what are you even like bitching about? And that being said, nah, I mean, I think it's like if you don't want to go there, it's okay because there's like, again, we'll probably get to it later, but there's always some other place out there that will like have sweet tea or what.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing, especially. Luckily, you come from the same world as my experience, at least at Huckapoo's is, in terms of me versus my own versus ownership. They understand that my decision making on whether I'm going to kowtow to certain people is my discretion is good enough for them.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to have that level of confidence with people that work for you too, and say, look, if you're like, get rid of, all right, kick them out. If you think they need a free shot, like send it on there. Like it's not a big deal. We trust you to do it right. I don't think I changed. I'm not like, oh, I don't want to. It's gonna be $2 more. I can put.
Yeah. I didn't imagine. I didn't imagine that, but I just figured in terms of what you would have to deal with day to day.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride involved in it too. Obviously, we're like proud of what we're doing. Not like look at me, but like we want it to be really nice, and we know we're doing a really good job. We're trying our butts off. Like we're working, all the time. So if somebody doesn't like it, it's like, okay, maybe they just don't like this. It's okay. Like no big deal. I want a Bud Light. That's fine. We only have Miller Lite. Like,
there's a thing I tell people, especially as a bartender, you meet 100 people a day, new people.
Yeah, that too.
And you don't necessarily not like a person, but you don't necessarily jive with them necessarily.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we're not friends or that, but it's not mutually exclusive that we have to be either enemies or friends. So in the same way, a customer, you don't have to like everything we do, but that doesn't mean that you're not welcome here, or that
No, absolutely
you can't
not.
find something that you would like.
If you need to use the restroom, feel free, or like I'll get you. I'll literally do anything to make you like, not like oh, we'll do anything for the customer, but like like for instance, Caroline, well, like she knows how to handle it. Like she'll go out of her way, like I need tea, I need whatever, like we'll try to make it happen. But like, there's like a certain level of like we're in the business in the hostess city to do a job, which is like
Sure.
throw the party,
Yeah.
like Charleston, great, but
Yeah.
Savannah's the the place where you hang out. It's come on in, let's do this. So like, there's always that level. Like I think some cities they don't have the same level of like attention like we do here.
Yeah.
Like serving a beautiful drink, great. Doesn't matter what it could be. Just again, Jaeger's like here's your tray, but it should be like that was really great service.
Right.
Thank you, sir. That was a cold
Right.
bottle.
Yeah, right. And like you're saying, there is a certain expectation when people come to Savannah or Tybee or to certain places in Savannah or Tybee where they're like, we come here thought it was going to be the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
And it's not. Or they come in thinking, oh, it's going to be calm, and then it's crazy.
You don't go to somebody's house and just wreck it. And that's kind of like, it's the city. Like, welcome in. Like, boom. Downtown's nice, beautiful, historic stuff. Been here forever. Like, it means a lot. I think that's what I like about Savannah and Tybee. People have been here a long time, and they intend to stay here a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to finally integrate it in some way. But I'm also like, we're paying your dues. You're like, I'm going to open this place on the side of town. We got to make it nice for people. Got to be safe. Got to keep an eye on people. Like, there's that level,
Yeah.
We're going to have people that work for us. You got to like really make sure they're handled,
Yeah.
Then there's like everything after that. But, if you don't like it, it's okay.
That's okay.
I'm not upset about it.
I'm not upset about it, and you shouldn't be upset with me. We're just not going to get along.
Yeah.
Speaking of the employee thing, I meant to ask.
Yeah.
Because obviously, when you open Lone Wolf and then Seawolf, you probably had not turnover, but you brought a lot of people, either friendship wise or ex coworkers,
yeah.
to come that you knew that you trusted to come along with you. So
So-
after that, your newer hires. What was the process of being like finding someone that you could put that implicit trust into?
So that is kind of strange, like to think about like all that. When we opened Lone Wolf, there was still a good. Sorry, still yeah. There was still a really tight group of people that came with us, like Clay Wall. She works at Pinky's too.
Yep.
Gordon. All these folks that we actually worked with in the past, we're like buddies with. We're like, you want to come work with us and do this shit? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So like, we got the crew. Like, I trust these guys, like the Wolf Pack. If they're not gonna be like, but it is kind of like that. Like Lone Wolf, not lonely anymore. Here we are.
Yeah.
But we did hire Ash. He was one of our regulars, and he had bartended before. He was working for like Scofflaw or something, like as a rep. And then he was like, that ended. So we're like, come work for us. He works out here at Seawolf too. And
Yeah, because they can't do both, right? You can't be a
Yeah.
distributor and bartender, right? Yeah.
do that, yeah.
So he was done with the distribution game.
yeah, he was like the rep for
Yeah.
Scofflaw. And or so, I think it was him. Anyway, and then we did hire Ryan Scamenti, who was a good friend of ours from New York. He moved down here. He's actually the front man in our band that we play in, the country
Oh,
band.
sick,
So,
yeah.
so he was like trying to get down here, like COVID happened, so it kind of pushed it back a bit. Anyway, and then we hired Maya Malins, who's from Tybee, actually. That would be the only person I didn't really know going into this,
Okay.
for a minute. But Andy knew her for a long time, and Caroline worked with her or something. And she's great, so it's like nice. But then with Seawolf, yeah, there's a lot of people that we don't know necessarily. But we were also out here for like a year and a half, like every day. So we
Yeah.
kind of put Lone Wolf in their hands so we knew they could like keep it rolling. Yeah.
So
We
you
hired
were
Trump,
able to
too.
pass on or delegate a bit of the responsibility
Yeah.
for Lone Wolf while you were opening
Yeah,
the
I also
Seawolf
live
out
really
here?
close to Lone Wolf, so it's like anything. I'm always like, all right, gotta come over here and fix the sink today.
Right, yeah.
But those guys had it, and we're like, we got to do this. We got to see it through. So we were out here like on top of stuff. Like we've still got people at Seawolf that have been there since day one, and that's really great. Like Kevin and Lexi, they used to live out here on Tybee also,
Yeah.
so it's nice. But you're always gonna end up in some weird like, who is this person? You do your best to like check in on that. But also, like, most people can't hang. You're going to figure that out. Like, we're doing it at a very high level of service. Like, it's fun. Like, the joke was it's not fine dining, it's fun dining because we're just trying to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
And that's
But we have
corny.
a level we want to keep it
there's-
at.
No, but the professionalism is like 10 out of 10 on the
Yeah.
scale. Like, the seriousness might be, it's 10 out of 10 too, but it's like presented as a 3. Like, well, these guys aren't. So you're like, yeah, we're actually super serious. But that effortless effort is always the thing you're trying to achieve in life. Like, that guy's really good at drums. It's like, how's he doing that? He's like working his ass off. It doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like the effortless effort thing is. It can be annoying to me because people look at me like, oh, he's not working very
Bullshit.
hard. I'm like, dude, Do you know how fast you got that damn drink from me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
No, for real.
But making it look easy is it's a boon and it kind of hurts
People
sometimes.
from out of town will come to Lone Wolf and they're like, "Oh, look at this bartender." I'm like, "Man, I'm just making like 3 drinks. It doesn't matter." But it's
You
like
can't tell
people are
because I'm
starting
not
to-
like, excuse me, hold on, sweating.
There's like the mystical aura around a bartender anyway of like this all-powerful person in the room, like the guy in a bar, like a dive bar.
Yeah.
Not at like a fucking restaurant.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like The guy's expoing. But I mean, people are still impressed by that position. So it's a kind of a neat thing. In Savannah, you've got like, before Lone Wolf days, all the way back when there was only like, the Rail and Hangfire and all those places.
Yeah.
Like there was only so many bartending spots. So if you got one of those, like you were kind of like in the, like you're going to see like everybody.
You're in
like,
the
it's a
top
small
tier,
town,
yeah.
Just in terms of like, not like top tier, like it's a contest, but just like,
Well, no, just
they're hard to get those jobs.
That's what I'm saying. You have gotten into a spot that 90% of the people won't get
Money's
into.
good, like,
Yeah.
but not everybody can do it, and it's not for everybody. But like, people are still like wowed by that. Sometimes they're like, yeah, we're just making drinks.
Either they're wowed or they're so not wowed by it, like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
That looks
That's
easy.
okay.
But no, that's fine. I'm glad you think so because they get weeded out really quick.
Oh yeah,
You know,
and you got to be fun. You got to talk.
you got to be. There's a million things that we'll talk about right after this pee break.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Welcome back from Behind the Barcast, sponsored by Firemaker Beer. I'm currently drinking the Sun Vibe Spiked Coconut, gluten-free, sugar-free, and it's slightly less carbonated, so you can kind of pound them. We also have the Calamity Jane, which is actually partnered with the PGA. It's a light, high life-ish Pilsnery beer.
Nice.
You can pound a lot of them on the golf course if you wish to do so. And they also make something called Everest sparkling water, which has healed our friend Tom's throat because you want to drink a good sparkling water because LaCroix are for fuckboys.
It was really good.
So you
And
can
healing.
visit firemakerbeer.com and check out their stuff. They're right out of Atlanta,
Nice.
Georgia here. And if you want to find them on their social media, it is at
that
Firemaker
down.
Beer. You want to come down a little bit?
Yeah,
Look at that, baby.
proud partner.
Chattahoochee Avenue in Griffin, I think, which is near Atlanta, which is where our buddy Joe T is from. Back in the Bayou
He worked
days.
there.
Huh?
He was there when I was there.
Who, Joe T was?
Oh, yeah.
No shit. oh, man. Joe Tenderloin.
Yeah.
So one of my, all right, by the time I started at least playing gigs at the Bayou, once every couple of months, the man, a legend, had already passed away, and he was a house musician there, Chief.
Yeah.
And I stole something from him. I have a sign that Tony Plew, councilman for Tybee Island, who I interviewed before he got elected, you're welcome. I would play gigs, and if people would ask me for a wagon wheel, I would charge them $50 just for asking.
Mm-hmm.
So he made me a sign, and it's like a legit like speed limit sign. Like it's metal, and it says, if you ask for a wagon wheel, it's a $50 surcharge onto your tab. But Chief, the guy that played at the Bayou, he, as far as I know, was the originator of the price.
Chief's wine list. They call it like, but it was spelled wine, like whining. Swear to God.
So it was a menu for requesting songs.
Yeah, it was. There was a few tiers on that. So, the very top was Brown Eyed Girl. Like it was the wagon wheel of the days of yore.
Yeah.
Back then. Sorry. That was $25. Inflation today it would be about 78. So I got $78. And then you had the $20 section, which is like any Leonard Skinner, any like any of those bands, Eagles or whatever.
Sure.
All right. Then you had what he called the value menu at $15, which was Amy and like some of this obscure shit. American Pie was on there.
Sure.
You're like, all right, I'll play it. $15. Like,
Did he have a Jimmy Buffett section?
oh yeah, sorry, that was 20.
Okay.
Jimmy Buffett, that was in that section, and yeah, people were like, and at the bottom it said, love it, like it, leave, hate it, some like
whatever.
nonsense
statement,
and then it was like www.myspace/Chief of Savannah. That was like .com. And he would call that my space. Like he was like my space.
My space.
Anyway, he was great. But Chief was like, he was like an uncle. Honestly, like the thing about Bayou was like it was like a family. Like the Zambitos, great people. I learned so much from
Zambitos or those
Yeah,
are the
Jerry
owners.
started it, and Vince was my boss, and he like bought his dad out. But his dad was in the Bayou Blues Band, which is like had played there for since it opened. He was like, I'm gonna open this bar, and I'm also gonna be in the band. All right, but their set is the exact same set every time, note for note, and like in a good way, honestly.
Okay,
Like,
all
they would
right.
switch it up. But I mean, I say this just to like reiterate that it was literally like I can play it on guitar, like the first 4 songs, note for note, because I've just absorbed it for 10
Oh
years.
yeah,
So,
100%, yeah.
It was like, remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, the Splinter's in the cage, and they're like, he's watching
he's
the guy.
following his master.
That was literally me at the Bayou. Just absorbing all this musical knowledge from people. But Chief was like, he played acoustic guitar in the beginning and had like 8 songbooks. They were like, giant tomes. He was just like, what song you want to hear? I know every fucking song there is. Like, shit, wouldn't do it. Or he would fake it,
Oh, yeah.
This was back in the 90s, like before the internet. Like, he
Yeah.
definitely had it. All right. So I didn't know him then. I knew him when he was starting to use the computer. He had like the backing track thing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And people were like, that's so stupid. But honestly, it was like fun as shit because he's like, what's this? Here's Prince, and he just like noodling on the guitar over it, and singing the shit out of it.
And look, people don't understand this, and this is not something that is prevalent anymore in Savannah. But I've known a couple of guys. I played in a band with a guy. He was much older than me, but there was a time where 40% of the bars that were popular at all in downtown Savannah, they had a house band of the same group of guys
Yeah.
or the same guy
Yeah.
playing 5 nights a week. That was their residency. It wasn't like, I mean, they might get another band on a Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But the element of the house band doesn't really exist too much anymore.
Nah, I mean, Culberson's still doing it, like McDonough's. I know you guys had him on here too,
Yeah.
So like, that guy's a legend. He also was at Bayou in the latter years, and like, that's like my war brother, like this
Yeah.
guy's. I've learned a lot from him too, like just stories, like stuff.
Yeah.
He used to own a bar. Like he's a really like badass guitar player, and like
Very
not
good.
Like watch my Stevie Ray Vaughan blues lick. Like everybody can do that. No, like actually like understands the instrument. And plays
Well,
the
he's got
fuck out
that
of it.
effortless effort.
Again, I've watched him play, and I'm just like, how's this guy do this? But it's part of it. It's like kung fu again. This guy just like bartending, sort of in a way, like things you practice, minimizing motions and like getting faster. Like,
Economy of movement.
that's the word. But yeah, so Chief had all these like, he had all those things. I'm sorry, the Bayou Blues Band, what were we talking about? So Jerry Zambito opened this place and played like the same, like he had the talk box from Peter Frampton. That was the
Oh,
other
boy,
big thing.
yeah.
Like it's like an original one. Like it was like still made of like tin,
Yeah,
like,
wrought
it
iron.
looks
Yeah.
like tin, like the splotchiness of
You
like
could
you know,
kill a man with
yeah.
it.
and the tube that connects. There's like okay, so if people don't know, the talk box is like what Peter Frampton used. It's like yeah, that shit. So hopefully y'all can get that on my like some of my if I could just sound like that the whole time, just make me do Peter Frampton sounds. Anyway, so the talk box was like stained from Jaeger that had dripped down. He only drank Jaeger there. He'd be like Jägermeister, breakfast of champions, and he would go. Pull. Everybody take a pull. And he would make the noise of the machine, But the bass player was also the same too. So like Jerry, original just OG sound. Like this guy could shred. He was so good, and I respect him as a businessman. This guy was like cutthroat level, like they're Italian, like Sicilian or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I love the Zambitos. Are very good friends. Like Vince is like my brother. Okay, he was my boss, but he's like our brother now. Couldn't have done what I'm doing now without having worked there for them. But
They probably had to change their name from Gambino to Zambito
probably-
just to.
nah, I mean, so Danny Branson was also the bass player, and he'd been the same guy, playing with him forever. And this guy was he's like one of the best rock and roll bass players. This guy's so good. He's funny. He looks kind of like what's the dude from the mustache, Sam? He was in Big Lebowski, all that, the cowboy.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott. Sorry,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
I'll take a sarsaparilla.
right. He kind of looks like that. He's got that
Okay, gotcha.
and like John Converter combined. Anyway,
Yeah,
but-
gotcha.
So this guy's like a rocking bass player. So I love watching him. But his bass cabinet it's always in the window, and it's like a 9x12 bass cabinet, that brown. But it's like a nice backdrop,
Yeah.
And then
a nice
Paul
aesthetic.
And then Paul Cooper was playing with him. He was there for their drummer for a long time. Like I'm not sure, like when he started, he was the original drummer, but their original drummer would pop in on him occasionally. This guy would show up like in town, or I don't know the story. But Paul Cooper's like the Gretsch Man.
Oh, right, yeah.
And a good friend. Like he's also I played Gretsch drums because of him.
Oh man, when Gretsch came to town, they opened the warehouse or whatever. All the drummers around town was like, I started seeing Gretsch drums everywhere.
Yeah, they were like, but they're also like, it's like getting the pretension out of like, check out, and I'm not gonna like knock a product online here, but like, check out this drum brand, and like it's the top. And it's like Gretsch is like, put drums in front of people and they'll buy these.
If you play them and they sound good,
right?
I played the first time I ever played with true trumpetist. And I saw him relieve his spittle valve.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a drinker, and he definitely didn't drink Jaeger. So I imagine if he had the chief thing going on with the fucking talk box.
Well, that was Jerry.
Okay, yeah. Think about it. If he was draining his trumpet out and it was just brown, yet I can't imagine the state of that tube going into his top.
Also, it's probably worth like the whole original top box, probably like 10 grand or something.
Insane. Oh right, yeah. If it was like first year model.
Yeah, I mean it was insane.
So did you absorb, especially like as a musician and as a bartender? Yeah. There's certain unteachable things. Like you can have great chops as a drummer, great chops as a guitar player, great chops as a bartender, have knowledge, and that'll get you to a certain point.
Yeah.
But even as a musician or a bartender, there is not necessarily banter with the crowd or talking to your customers, but there is a rapport that has to be struck where the power dynamic doesn't change between you and the customer. There's never a time you should, because you were talking about the rock star bartender thing where they're like, oh, he's the penultimate thing here, where the bartender shouldn't have, unlimited power over the customer, and it shouldn't go the other way either.
They're both there to like, I give you the drink.
That's a really hard balance for people to find, though, because certain customers, you give them a little bit. You're like, oh, I'll take care of you a little bit more. And then they think the power dynamic has changed where they can run you to death.
Yeah, I mean, balance is like as a Libra, all right. Not that I don't care, like whatever, astrology.
Yeah.
It's fun. But yeah, you got to balance stuff out. Like, you're going to drink all night. You got to work all day. You know what I mean? It's not like... Just like drumming, like you want to like, there's a lot of people playing a lot of stuff. Like you don't have to solo the whole time.
You gotta back up, baby.
Watching, like, learning repetition for bartending, but also with the the musicianship at Bayou was so great and varied. You saw people who were like really overplaying, like this guy's going crazy. But this one, like Paul Cooper's like just really great, solid drummer. He also can do whatever. I mean, but like he definitely knows how to play. You start seeing people that can do it. But also just like absorbing it and knowing it. So I sat in with the Magic Rocks once when Jim Reed like hurt his arm or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I knew their entire set just from watching it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'll do it. And I'm like, yeah, I can do it. So like all the stops they do, the special little things they do. Craig Johansson was like talking to me recently.
Oh, not just knowing the songs platonically, but
everything
their inflections that they did within the songs. Yeah.
But I mean, they were like my favorite band to see there. One of them, you know. And I like
Magic Rocks. That was Jim Reed and the really tall guy on the guitar.
And Ronnie Kersey. He used to play in GAM and all that like, crazy stuff from back in it. So, it's like these people have been, Bayou was like the nexus of like music in Savannah and a certain like, some of the streams. Like you also like the Jinx.
Yeah.
A lot of that other stuff went that way. And then Hang Fire.
Yep.
And these people are paying people to play music.
Yeah.
And as things have shut down, it's like, where do you get gig at post 2020?
Bro.
Like,
after Livewire was gone.
And Livewire too.
Yeah. After Livewire's gone, Jinx gone. There's one thing to be said about Savannah, and I've told people this before, but maybe not on this podcast. I know more talented, very professional and good musicians in Savannah than people that go out to see those good.
We're all musicians, and like almost everybody's a musician.
But good ones though. It's not a bunch of dads in their garage.
No, yeah, we're doing it.
There's very good musicians around here, but they kind of get swept to the side because
we did. This is how I know that. We used to do the cover band night at Jinx on Halloween every year, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was like not people in bands together normally. It'd be like, all right, like we did Duran Duran one year, and I called John Willis, like, hey, can you learn his bass part? He's like, got it.
John Willis?
Yeah.
Classic.
John Willis. Ben Kaiser played guitar on that one. And then Ryan from, he played in the band. I'm sorry, I'm just like, it's been so long.
But Ryan.
Yeah, so I knew from the Bayou. I was like, hey, what you can play drums with this? Your sound's going to do that, Yeah. But that's when we put a band together every year. We did Blondie one year. We did the Runaways one year. I was like,
well, you get the right group of musicians together. And I used to not have that luxury with my old bands.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh, we were always on the back foot. Now, if I get called for a gig with Ben or John or any of those guys, it's like, as long as I know my shit,
Yeah, you're good.
then we're
They
gonna.
got it.
Yeah,
One of the best guitar players in town. Like guys, he sat in with us at the.
Ben is amazing.
He played with us at Southern Culture on the Skids. We opened up for him like a month ago or whatever, and he was like, "This is my favorite band." My dad like thinks that guitar player is like the best.
Who,
He's like,
Ben said that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So Ben was like, "Can I play on the set?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, dude."
Maybe.
And I was telling Ryan, I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna love us, dude." You know, he just sat in and like blended in with everyone.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
a couple solos, but yeah, this entire town's got so many really great musicians. I mean, it's fortunate. You know?
And we have a lot of good ones that visit. Kelly, so
yeah,
you lived above the Bayou Cafe.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Literally.
connected.
I feel for you.
Yeah. Well, this was 91 through 93 in the old SCAD days. Yeah. It was a great time.
And your back stairs are right next to where the second floor back stairs.
Yeah,
of the
those
Bayou
right
is.
on stairs that take you up to Bay Street.
How many randos knocked on your door every week?
Endless. I mean, just because we had these white double doors, so it looked like a tchotchke shop where you would buy, a globe that has Savannah or whatever, that kind of thing. And people just open the door and just walk on in. And this would be the middle of the day. But then we'd throw house parties at night. Then we'd have all sorts of randos walking in because we had a band, kegs, that kind of thing. But it was a crappy place to live, but it was a great place to live. Best location. It'd be literally on River Street, above the bayou.
You get to sit there and look out over the river.
Yeah, and the bayou was literally just a flight of stairs away, and we went there all the time.
And you get to see random people like Steve Gorman from the Black Crowes.
Indeed, yeah. The Black Crowes had played here in Savannah, Johnny Mercer, on the second album, Southern Harmony and Musical Companion. And my roommate runs upstairs and says, "Get up," which I'm usually not asleep much, but he's like, "Get up." And it was Rich and Chris and Steve down there, and just playing covers, no Black Crow stuff, just Faces, Old Stones type stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I'd imagine if they're at a little dive bar, they're not like, "All right, time to crank
yeah,
up."
and this is way before social media of any kind. I mean, I wish I had some documentation.
You have the memory, man.
No, it's there.
Yeah.
But something like that happening now,
Yeah.
it would be. They would have been gone in 5
Their
minutes.
spot would have gotten blown up. They wouldn't have been there for 5
Yeah, they would have been
minutes.
gone in 5 minutes as soon as somebody sent a picture. And
Check out who's over here.
but for an hour and 15 minutes,
Yeah.
I had those. Well, me and about maybe 20 other people had them to ourselves.
We had like a year-long time where whenever Georgia first switched over to a new tax thing where a lot of more film productions came to Georgia.
Yeah, huge.
And they were shooting some stuff around Savannah and Tybee, and Huckapoo's was the place where I knew one of the same producer for 3 of the films. His name was Johnny, cool dude. He would bring the talent into Huckapoo's because he knew no one would be like, "Oh my God, look who's here."
Yeah, right.
That did last for a while. They would come in and we'd be like, "Oh, Aubrey Plaza, what's up, baby?" All right, anyways, Bud Light over here, whatever. Because we knew that, and a lot of our clientele, it's like, yeah, they would be like, "Oh, look, a movie person," but they're not going to, suck a fart out of their ass or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, on the subject of that and the celebrity, like, we're like, they're calling it Yollywood or whatever. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like movies being done here now. It's like crazy, and that's great for the economy. Like here,
Yeah.
Also, Savannah used to be like where all the Italian filmmakers would come here and like shoot their stuff because you had like swamp and forest, this other.
You have all of those, locales.
Yeah. So, and you still have the European-esque city, backdrop. But anyway, one day at Bayou, me and Vance are working there. There's a guy I work with forever there, Vance Collins. He's a great dude. We're just there, and he taps me on the shoulder. It's like 10 p.m., and the band's plays loud as fuck. You can't, like, once the band starts in that room, you're just like, done talking,
Yeah.
It's time to go,
Yeah.
But what's the dude's in Transformers?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf was at the Bayou. And
Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf.
Was that the infamous night where he got arrested?
So let me just walk y'all down this. All right.
tough.
And it's funny because it's a small town. It turns out Andy had a part in this too. My business partner. So he was staying at the hotel Andy was working at. Anyway, so Vance tasked me. He's like, "You know who that is, right?" I was like, "No, I don't know who it is."
Oh, you didn't know
I don't
Shia at
I don't
that
know who this
point?
fucking dude is. Like, and Dakota what's the girl?
Did what?
What's the girl, Dakota Johnson or what?
Dakota Johnson? I
Yeah.
don't know. That
Anyway,
sounds
whatever.
like a name.
So they were there at the Bayou. And he's like, that's who that is. I'm like, no shit, you're right, it is, you know. And they were just like, all right. It was John Lee and the Apparitions were playing, and they were into it. Like he was like,
another great set of musicians
so
here in
good. Those guys
Savannah.
are good.
Indeed.
But yeah, Shiloh's just like into it, you know. So I left early that night. I think I was like going to meet some people or like do whatever the fuck, you know. And because we had our early out bartenders like 1 a.m., you know. Like, all right, I'm getting out, or going home or whatever. So Vance like texted me the next day. He's like, dude, you're not gonna believe this shit. Like just look at the news or whatever. It's like Shiloh Buff arrested in Savannah, you know. And there's like a accompanying video where he's like trying to bum a cigarette on somebody. I don't know, and like. He ends up like running back into the hotel, and the cops are after him because he did some. I forget. What
I don't even know what he got arrested for.
Yeah, just being Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
But that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Outspoken, I think.
Shia LaBeouf doing Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, just
things.
like get this guy out of here. You know, like you said, this town kind of polices itself.
Yeah.
But we like got him ripped. Like Vance was just like rocking him. Yeah, you got another beverage. Can I? Yeah. Here, check this out. Boom. Swap.
Now we're good.
Anyway, so
Ka-ching.
sun vibes.
Sun vibes.
So anyway, he was
Because sun boys are for fuck boys.
All right, now. Anyway, so I guess he got him like twisted on gin and tonics or whatever he was drinking, you know. And he was like trying to produce John Lee. You know, he's like, I want to make an album for you, like for a guy at 3:30 at the bar. You're like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Even if you are shy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting arrested out of that. So we were the coup de grace, like at the Bayou. That was it.
You were the epicenter of the Shia LaBeouf meltdown.
Done. From there, he went and got arrested immediately. So, but he was staying at Andy's place, and like, you know, he had like started him. He was at the bar Andy worked at the hotel, and he was like drinking there. So it was like, it was funny. We like book into this dude, like get fucked.
Of course, my best friend, off in the distance, somehow ran into this guy. I mean, it's a small town, but that's just.
But then you got people like Bobcat Goldthwait who come here and nobody knew. He was the Wormhole 3 weeks ago.
Really?
He came to the Lone Wolf too.
Really?
But nobody knows who he is because it's like that was so. I forgot, you never saw Police Academy,
Right? Yeah.
People were like, no, is it on TikTok? I'm like,
You never
no.
saw Hot to Trot? No, that's a deep cut.
Yeah,
there.
no, it was- but yeah, there's a lot of celebrities here now. Like it's insane. We had the dude from Yellowstone was like at Seawolf one night. The young brother or whatever.
Okay.
And you know that's fine. Like whatever, they're just regular people. But a place like Lone Wolf is a place where it's like we're not going to rat you out.
We're not
like,
going to
whatever.
rat you out. We're not going to put you on the internet.
I am now. I'm gonna have a list of every celebrity. TMZ.
We had I got to work one day at Huckapoo's, and I'm trying to walk behind the bar to earn a living and do my job.
That's right.
And there's a conglomerate, a gaggle of girls all having a little meeting. And I was like, excuse me, I'm gonna just reach over here. And I was like, what are these women gathered up here for? So I get by them and I turn, and over there is Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah, he came.
So he was down for Magic Mike or something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
second one probably.
And I looked over at him, and he's with his lady, whatever. And I look at the girls, and I was like, oh. So I walked over to Channing. I was like, hey, look, dude, you see what you're doing here? I can't even do my job.
I heard he's only like 5'4".
No, Channing
He's
Tatum.
like, you had to look down on him, right?
No, Channing Tatum's normal height.
No.
Yeah.
It's the shoes, I bet.
Yeah,
No, it's like
he
5'4". He's like,
might have had some Tom Cruise platforms on.
So you cruised over and told him what's up?
Yeah, well, no, he already, man, come on. This guy's aware, but I was like, look, I can't even do my job because you're here.
Yeah.
He loved it, though.
Yeah.
And then when Aubrey Plaza and Zac Efron were there, they came to watch the Manny Pacquiao fight.
okay, cool.
And listen to this shit. So, we had done, it was May 5th, I remember it, Aubrey. Me and my bud Danny, we were doing the Chalk Eaters, which are the guys who take bets for the Kentucky Derby. So I'm in pink corduroy hot pants, pink suspenders, pink bow tie. You know, because we were dressing the part to do. Come take a bet. It's $5 on. It's a winner. You know, whatever. So we don't leave. They show up, and I was like, God motherfucking damn it. The one time I get to meet Aubrey Plaza, I look like this clown show, and I was like, but I don't care.
She got it.
So I rolled over to her, I was like, hey, Aubrey, I really enjoy your work. I love doing Parks and Recs. I'm going to follow everything you've ever done after that. Okay, see you, bye. And I just tried to be quick. She goes, come here, motherfucker. Come here, give me a hug really quick. And I was like, thank you so much. And then I looked around. No one else was bothering these people. It was such a fun... But then all all it fucking took was, it wasn't even The Rock. It was The Rock's douchebag cousin, who's his body double and stunt man.
What's his name?
Doc. I don't know.
Skip.
The Cock Johnson.
The cock. Steincock.
This people thought people thought he was The Rock because he's bald, he's tall, he's steroided. He didn't have the tattoos, but he had a shirt on. More people showed up to see the cock because they thought he was The Rock. And then from then on, anytime there's ever been any even whisper of a celebrity, it gets out. Huckapoo's at least. Yeah, right. It gets out much too quickly.
I think that's the whole thing. Like the whole pretension angle. Like again, like when you start, cool. You meet a couple celebrities. You're like, all right, that's fine. Like whatever. That next, like we're just trying to do other shit. Like
we're all people, man.
Realize that everybody around you is so much cooler than any of those people are.
Yeah.
Like this town of Savannah. Like it's a great place. I don't give a shit if you're like. Of course, everybody since post 2020 shut up here. Not the worst people. They're like I saw these Instagram videos of these influencers now that we have like yeah, cool. It's so cheap here. I'm from Connecticut.
It was.
Wait now,
Yeah, it was.
Same shit on Tybee. They're like, noise ordinance. I can't believe I came here. My peace has been disrupted and I need peace in my life on this island of 3,000
How dare they
people.
let me buy a house next to the busiest bar in the place?
I was reading that article because we're going to put a band out. We're going to do the Intracoastal Playboy show at Seawolf in April. Yeah. Working with the, the Bull River, or the Oyster guys, Perry and Laura, So we're going to do a little event with them. And have a little band, If
you guys have. I know you've had Jason Bible playing acoustic guitar outside of Seawolf.
Never like a full band,
but it's normally during the daylight hours. Do you ever catch shit for it about sound?
People in the beginning where there's like this old drunk man that lived across the street. It was like he'd like come out of his house. I mean, you probably know him anyway. He was like just always mad at us.
There's guys like that,
and it's like 12 to 3, and it's like blues and bluegrass. It's like there's the most tame, like so it's mostly original stuff people were playing.
And it's 12 to 3, motherfucker.
Like, chill, dude. Like, sorry that your day is ruined because a guy played acoustic guitar out here.
Come on, man.
So, yeah, but I mean that's what's happening in Savannah too. So I feel like right now, and not to get off, like we were talking about Bayou, but that was like a really authentic place. People definitely are like, I smell like a fryer when I go home at night.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, this place is like important to keep alive for certain reasons. Like this is a place, not alive, but like it matters. Like they need this place.
Culturally, people don't understand the importance of places, dirty little places like that.
Well, it's not even like that. It's not even that. Like, bro, I got 100 on the health score. Me and Chico used to work there. Like,
I just mean
check this out. Like, it's definitely a dive bar.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was like, watch this. We're gonna get 100 on this one. I'm just gonna go in here and help the kitchen do this shit. We like crushed it. So it's like, but people need places like that because they're like out drinking. They need safe places to go, places you can get food, place to hang out, place like Huckapoo's. Where it's like, this is my little spot. I can always count on this place. That's what makes Savannah.
I'm gonna know the employees when I go there. I'm probably gonna know most of the clientele because everyone returns because that's their good time that they want to have. Some people don't want to have that type of good time there, so they have their good time at another place, and they should have that place.
Like Huckapoo's is multifunctional. I feel like it's a safe place. If somebody's like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at, and they go in there, you're good.
You'll be good there.
It's not some random like hotel bar where it's like, where's this at? Like, or like any whatever. I mean, but I think that's the kind of city I like being a part of. That kind of idea. Tybee's the same way, small place. But there's people that want to like change it. They're like, I gotta come here and like make this Bud Light or Miller Light
from the outside. From the outside looking in, they think, since the community is such that there's money to be made or that we can whatever. But inherently, they don't realize that without that core community, the more you push people out, the more hotels and stuff you have. That core community is gone, which made it what it was to begin with.
Yeah, Savannah fights. Like, sorry guys, I'm down here. No, Savannah like really holds to it. Like when the hotels are trying to like build in our neighborhood now, like boutique hotel. It's the new survey out. Like, would y'all be okay with boutique hotels? And I'm like, well, how many rooms is a boutique hotel?
Yeah.
Guess. 40. 40 rooms.
Oh, that's real boutique.
It's like 4 stories.
That's real boutique.
Cool.
Sounds like a hotel.
Like, there's literally like these people are out here, and like the city council is gonna roll every time. Like, let them do it or whatever. Like, But people in Savannah are also like, fuck that. Like, this is our zone. Tybee's too. Like, people like Eric and them are like, stop bitching about the noise. Like, we were here before you were here, and like, you gotta stop. You know,
and not to say that Eric doesn't care. Eric doesn't want to.
they care.
No one wants to egregiously be
No.
like, "Oh well, fuck you. We're going to be loud no matter what." But the tone that they're setting is like, if they hear anything,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, dude. Anyone who lived there anyone who's lived there already, you know the deal, man.
My good friend D. Herb was telling me about the
Yeah.
days of yore too. You know, and it's like
Yeah.
it was a place like they like delivered a pizza to his house like years ago. You know,
Yeah.
and they were like, we ran out of like trays or whatever. So if you could just bring that back when you're, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's community
Yeah,
shit
it's
right
like
there.
3,000 people on the island when there's
Yeah.
not 800,000 people on the island.
Right.
So
And we'll end on this, but so we were talking earlier about reviews and everything, and so especially on Tybee and down here, I don't feel there's like the importance. Let me find a way to frame this. So we're so small down here that during the season, obviously we get an influx of people from out of town that will boost your business.
Yeah.
But typically they're not the tipping point of whether your business is going to be successful, because they're not necessarily return customers. They'll have a good time while they're here.
Yeah.
So people put a lot of stock in the importance of reviews.
yeah,
Now, I understand if I were to go out of town and I went to a place and I never research very hard on anything.
yeah.
I do person-to-person research, not internet research. You know, and there's a 1-star review that says, the fat bartender with the big ear holes told me to figure it out, dude, which is the only review I've ever read of myself. And for context, it was a guy that came in on 4th of July, and we have 200 people.
The busiest day
It
on
is
Tybee,
literally the
yeah.
busiest day. He walks up, he goes, "Hey, what do I do about a table?" I'm like, "It's first come, first serve, whatever." Okay. He goes away, comes back, child in arms now. He's like, "Hey, man, my kid's really hungry. We just want to grab a table." I'm like, "Look, man, I'll keep your head on a swivel. If you see any," so I tried to joke with him. I was like, "Just go stand over someone when they're almost done and be like, 'Hey, you done eating there, brother?'"
yeah.
He didn't laugh, whatever. Don't care. I'm not your comedian. Third time he comes back, he goes, "Hey, man, am I going to get a table or what?" I was like, "It's 4th of July. Figure it out, dude."
And he was mad.
He was mad,
He had
boy.
his baby and his pissed off
Yeah,
wife.
yeah. He was like, the
or
baby
husband,
didn't work.
Whatever.
The baby didn't work. So then so I'm looking for a menu online, and I get to I was like, "Oh, there's a review of Huckapoo's," and it goes, "Me and my family went to Huckapoo's. Didn't mention that it was the 4th of July. Me and my family went to Huckapoo's,
yeah.
tried to get a table.
Let's leave that out.
The fat bartender with the big ear holes told me to figure it out, dude." He goes, "Well, guess what? We did figure it out, dude, and went back to Manitoba, Washington, wherever the fuck he
Yeah.
was from." I was like, "Oh, really?"
Not Ohio, because those guys,
No.
they're good people.
We love Ohio here. We love the Ohioans here.
Yes,
Yeah. So you had just recently a fun review.
Yeah, I kind of want to just read it
Yeah,
verbatim.
please.
so
Yeah,
that-
read it verbatim. Hey, we got to get
the recital portion.
Yeah, we're a factual show here. We get our facts right at all times.
Fact check this.
I mean, obviously.
Pride ourselves on it.
Get ready. Okay. This is by a local guide, so this is probably someone we know. But
This
I don't.
was a local person?
But it says local guide. You get the little badge, so maybe that's like Planet Earth's pretty local. If you're like from Zeta to Reticuli.
I'm local to Earth. Yeah, if you're not
Were
from
you
Zebulon,
an alien? Yes. Anyway,
not from Magrathea.
yeah, no. Here I go. All right. And my voice is so terrible, but I'm going to make this as clean as I can. Local
It's the
guide.
Tom Waits reading. Don't worry
yes.
about it.
Name has been redacted.
Of course.
Local guide, 92 reviews, 17 photos. This is 22 hours ago. 1 out of 5 stars. And I quote, "I was totally shocked when we were seated and asked for our drink order, period. We all wanted sweet tea. Semicolon." That's the one with the thing in the dot. Yeah, semicolon. All right.
Semi.
"As this is a standard beverage in the South, capital South." Like, here we are, comma, "we didn't think it would be a problem, period. Wrong, all caps, exclamation." This is a really well-written review. I mean, I feel like this is the troll.
You know, when he did the all caps, it
Yeah.
really spoke to me.
He or she,
Oh yeah, yeah. You local guy.
local guide, guide. Like, 92 reviews. 1 is relevant, 17 photos. All right. "They don't serve tea, period. We thanked them and went to Stingrays," which Stingrays is a great restaurant. You should go to Stingrays. But over the sweet, come on, we actually have it. It's instant because we were like, well,
Yeah.
I ain't got time. But we have like beautiful champagne for like $6 a glass. So,
And I'll tell you one thing. I doubt. Local Guide 93
Yeah.
at Yahoo said thank you to anyone.
Yeah,
That day.
I'm a local guide. You want to know the scoop? Come to me. Come to go to you. But yeah, the internet's terrible for these kind of things. You know, it's great to see the good reviews. You want to see it, but it's like, you know, whatever.
Well, typically, especially if you're doing online research,
Yeah.
you look at
You have to look at
it's 80% positive, 20% negative. That's good enough for me because if
Yeah.
you start breaking down each person's, I mean, I was on YouTube the other day and I was watching a video of like literally the Beatles' "Let It Be"
Yeah.
or something like that, and one of the top comments was, "Oh, they were better in their first 2 albums" or some shit like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're critiquing a Beatles song in
Sounds like 800
2024.
years old. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
They're
Nobody knows who
okay.
the Beatles are anymore, and that's what's fucked up to it. What?
Are they on TikTok? Dude, Tom, it's been so fun. I
thanks so
appreciate
much.
you coming on. We should do it
Anytime.
again
Yeah, I'll
because
be
there's
glad.
there's a ton of shit we haven't
When my
even
throat
covered.
is healed, you'll understand. I might even sing a song.
No, oh man. Well, is it going to be a Tom Waits song?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
might, well, by then it won't be. If
hey,
it was
look,
tonight,
man.
it would be.
Look, man, the gravelly voice is good. If
Thanks.
you would do us a favor and follow us on YouTube.
Oh, not me.
Not you. You've already
The
done me a
consumer.
favor.
Doing your part. We listen.
You've already done me a favor. It's youtube.com/FromBehindTheBarcast. We're also on Instagram. And we thank you, and we will see y'all next week.
Nice.
I got the audio. That's something.